Yo, when you fasting, all you think about is food, yo. We are greedy as a humankind. I know, yo, we too greedy. I have like a roster now, y'all, and it's just been next vlog I post. So today is, I think, April 3rd. Yeah, so anyway, y'all, yeah. Today is April 3rd. It's about almost 8:45. I'm supposed to be on my break. But I just said let me check in, because if I do film this, it will be in the next vlog. So I don't know how long I'm gonna be taking a break from YouTube, but I think it's probably gonna be like a month or two. I really want to do like a month. So if y'all seeing this and it's like June, then I took 2 months off. I just started the master cleanse 2 days ago on the 1st. So today is day 3, and today was kind of rough for me. I don't know why today was kind of rough, because on the master cleanse, I usually do good in the beginning. Like the roughest part for me on the master cleanse be like days 5. Like when it's getting towards the end, I always start struggling around then. But today I'm struggling. I don't know why, because like Monday I started, which was the 1st. And then I was off from work, of course, my scheduled day off. And then yesterday I was off from work because I had a dentist appointment. I had to get like 2 teeth filled in. I basically have to get root canals, y'all. Well, one of them is a root canal, indefinitely. I told y'all I have really bad teeth. What else was I gonna say? I don't know if I was telling y'all too, John has to get 2 teeth pulled, but he's not getting them pulled right now. The dentist just said eventually he has to get them pulled. So yeah, that's it, y'all. So today is day 3. I'm really trying to stick to it, because it was time, like it's just time to, cleanse my body out. All that eating and stuff, like that bored eating, that's like, ugh. It starts to catch up with you. But yeah, I just wanted to check in. I don't know what vlog this is going to be in, but I'll try to like documentate my process. But today is day 3, and yeah, today is kind of rough, because I usually don't struggle like this. I don't struggle like this, especially in the beginning. But it just go to show you, like when you on this cleanse, like it just go to show you like how much we think about food all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like it gives you something to do. So it's like my life is already boring, and then I can't, like, because you're thinking about, okay, when I'm eating for breakfast, when I'm eating for lunch, when I'm eating for dinner, what I'm gonna eat for snack. You know what I'm saying? And now all I gotta do is worry about like jobs, stuff like that. But I needed a cleanse. My bestie had just finished doing hers, so I was like, yeah, it's time. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I must have pressed the button. But anyway, yeah, y'all, got my nails did Monday. Yeah, I got my nails done on Monday. So these are, I don't know how good. I'm on my phone, so you can't see them that good. So these are the phone. Y'all know my little signature look I have is like all my nails painted except for one, which is stones. Didn't know what to get. So I just got this. I love pink, and I love pinks. They're so feminine, or whatever you want to call them. I just like pinks. Let's say it feminine. I'm still trying to see if I'm gonna go to Chicago. Still waiting for Josh's grandma to confirm with me if she could watch him, so I'm waiting on that. It's like sometimes I don't be wanting to tell y'all my dating chronicles because I feel like that shit be jinxing me, but guys are just so delusional. Let me just tell y'all one of the situations that I'm in right now. Not I'm in, but I've experienced. So this guy I'm talking to, mind y'all now, I'm not naked. It's just, I told y'all it's always hot in my apartment, so I'll be like, anyway. So this guy I started dating, well, not dating, let me stop saying this guy I was talking to. We was talking, and you know when somebody just be talking too much, like just talking too much, like. And usually when I meet a guy and they talk too much in the beginning, I just be like, oh, you hiding something. Like it's like 90% of the time I'm right. So he lives in my neighborhood. I didn't tell him where I live, you know what I'm saying? I just told him around where I live, right? Oh, he's like, oh, you live right next to me. Oh, mind you, I told him when we first met I have a child, like I have a 3-year-old. So every day he's like, oh, let's go to lunch. No, he's like, let's go to dinner. Let's go get something to eat every day. I'm like, listen, my life is planned. Like everything is planned, like from beginning to end. I don't need to go into detail with you about that, but if you want to see me, it would have to be like on a weekend, like on a Saturday or something. So he's like, oh, no, let's just, like, you live right by me. Can we just go and get something to eat real quick? And I'm like, no, I have a kid. I'm like, now, do you want me to bring him with you? You know, with me? So he's like, yeah. And I'm like, nah. Like, even if that was the case, it's like, I don't know you, my G, and I'm not that pressed to go out to eat. Whatever. So, anywho, we finally made plans to go out, right, on a Saturday, the Saturday before Easter, which was last weekend. I knew Ja wasn't going to be home because my mother wedded him for Easter. So he's like, oh, we're going to meet up Saturday, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. So Saturday comes and I dropped y'all off, you know, after I got off from work. I take them straight to my mom's house. I run back home. We had made plans to meet up at 8 o'clock, y'all. So I said, okay, I get off at 5. It take me about a good hour to drop y'all off and come back. I'll be back by like 6:30, 6:15, maybe before that, depending on the traffic. Because she lives in like an area called St. Albans in Queens. So it's a little congested. Farmers Boulevard, if you know, you know, right? It's always hard to get in and out that area just like that. But anywho, drop off, get back home. I think I got back in the house officially, I would say like 6:30. So I was like, all right, let me start slowly getting ready because now I don't have to worry about my hair no more, but just brushing my edges and freezing my edges or something like that, whatever. So I'm getting dressed and rewind. That same Saturday, he calls me in the morning, or we text, and he's like, oh, I'm seeing you later. What time? I was like, oh, 8 o'clock. So he was like, oh, okay. So, you know, I come home, and I'm on my way home. Something was just like, I didn't hear from this dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because usually guys be like, oh, you know, are we still on for the same time? And we had just spoken like in the afternoon, early afternoon or whatever, right? So, but I ain't really paying no mind because my whole thing too is like, even if somebody cancels or ghosts me or like what they call it, stand me up, like I'm good. Like I do not care about that shit. Like I really don't. Like the way I look at it now is like every time a guy ghosts or stands me up, I look at it like a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is a straight up blessing now. Like that's the way I've reprogram my brain now. So I'm not even disappointed when somebody do stuff like, oh, they don't call or they don't, like, I'll be like, that is a blessing now, right? So come home, get dressed, you know, like I said, I already had my outfit picked out, knew what I was wearing. He had asked me, where do you want to eat? And I was like, oh, so mind you, everything was planned, y'all. I was like, yo, I ain't gonna hold you, I want some Cheesecake Factory. Because I knew I was starting my cleanse, y'all, right? So I was like, damn, I want me some motherfucking Cheesecake Factory. Like, I don't think we ever spoke about it, but I gives no fudges about Cheesecake Factory. Now, if you tell me Applebee's or Fridays because I genuinely don't like the food, then that's a problem. Because I really, like, I have to be forced to go to Apple. Like, that means there was nothing else around. Like, and honestly, like, most of the time with Applebee's, I'm like, Fridays is actually better than Applebee's, but like date wise, like first dates, like nah, like whatever. But we'll get back to that in another point. So anywho, he's like, oh, okay, that's fine. I was like, okay, come home, get ready. I know I said this like 10 times, but I get dressed, y'all, all the way dressed. I'll insert a picture of, you know, my face was beat, okay? Because, you know, when you got braids, you got to really, like, you know what I'm saying? You got to really come through with the face beat. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, you know, I got my nice little outfit on, cute ass. Like, I was looking mad cute. So now I'm like, I ain't hear from this dude. Like, it's literally like 8 o'clock. So I'm like, 8 o'clock comes. I'm like, So I'm like, 8:05 come. I'm like, let me just text him. Like, so I text him around 8:05. He don't respond. I was like, oh, it's official. I'm getting stood up, right? So I ain't care because I already, like I told y'all, I started looking at it like that shit is a blessing now, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. I just texted, said, what time are you coming to get me? So I'm still in the house, just kind of like doing my final touches because at that point I was dressed, so I was definitely going outside, right? So he calls me at like 8:15. So mind you, he's a salesman. He's a car salesman. So he calls me. He's like, hey, babe, you know, I'm still at the dealership. Da, 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 da. I'm like, what? So he like, yeah, I'm still at the dealership. I'm like, so he's like, but I said, so I don't know how much longer you gonna be. He was like, oh, I don't even know because it's like, I don't want to tell you a time and then I'm still here. So I hear one of his coworkers in the background. I guess he was saying something to them and he was like, oh, and I was like, well, no, before the coworker said anything, I was like, all right, cool. Like, let's just reschedule because I can't be sitting around waiting to see what time you get off. Like, I'm going to be tired. Like, I worked today. Like, even though I work from home, I still worked and I had to run y'all on the other side of town. Like, my mom's lived like almost 30 minutes away from me. So he was like, oh, okay. Like, soon as I said that, he was like, okay. Like, didn't even try to like fight it or nothing. After that, like his friend, or I guess somebody was listening and they was like, oh, no, don't reschedule him, da, 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 da. And I was just like, yeah, like, nah, I just don't, I kind of, so I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm dressed. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm so sorry, I apologize. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. But I don't know, when he was like saying that to me, it just didn't sound like he gave a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't sound like a really sincere person to me. So after I hung up, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to just go get me something to eat in Long Beach, which, it's a couple of little spots out there I like to go to. Plus, yeah, it's a couple of spots I want to go to, and I frequent. So I'm like, all right, cool. It's right here. Like, so after we hung up, I told you I was already dressed. So all I had to literally do was put on my shoes. So I'm like, yo, I'm putting on my shoes and I'm going out. Went out. So I'm like, yo, before I left, I'm like, let me just call this dude back. So I called him back. He picks up. I'm like, yo, I was like, I just want you to know, like, I really didn't appreciate you standing me up like that. Like, it would have been nice for you to call me and at least catch me before I even got dressed. So he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I was just lost track of time. I looked at my clock at 6 o'clock, and I was just like, yeah, I didn't realize. Next thing I know, it was 8 o'clock. So my whole thing is like, if you making a date with somebody at 8 o'clock, if you see at 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock is the time you should be leaving because you got to go home and get ready, right? Wouldn't that indicate some type of signal to say, yo, let me just let Shorty know I'm still here? It's a possibility that I'm be late. So it's like, once he said that, he mentioned like, oh, I looked at my clock at 6:30. I'm just like, so at that time, you didn't think that like nothing about going out on a date with me. So I was like, yo, all right, cool. So I was like, I'm just letting you know what I'm saying? That was very inconsiderate. Like I had to like make effort to like make sure that I get back at 8 o'clock. I'm like, had you, canceled on me like 6 o'clock, I would have probably just went straight like from my mom and just went out to eat instead of coming all the way back home, getting ready and all that shit. Like I could have went exactly how I was. He was like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. He was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'll make it up to you and all this stuff like that. But I was like, that shit is like a turn off to me. Very much a turn off. But anywho, I went out to eat, and I'm glad that I went out because I found a new spot in Long Beach, and I was fiending for some oysters. So I went and had me the best oysters and best salad at this place called LB Social in Long Beach. So I'm just letting whoever watching this, if y'all go to Long Beach, that place is good. Now, I would say when I first walked in, I almost didn't go in because it was too many in there. If you know about Long Beach. But I was like, all right, whatever. Let me just push myself inside. So I did go inside, and I'm so glad that I did, y'all. Yo, the oysters was so amazing. I had this like salad, which was like arugula, beets, and pear in it with shrimp and feta cheese. And it had this like vinaigrette on it. I'm a salad person, y'all. I'm sorry. I love salads. So like when I get something like that, yo, that salad was amazing. It was so good. And I had me, a glass of Prosecco, my signature drink when I go out. And it was a vibe. I'm definitely going back, especially when my cleanse is over, because that salad, I can't stop thinking about that salad. But I was like, because I kind of stumbled upon it because I was initially going to this spot called Margarita's Cafe, which is like a Mexican spot. I always go there. So I'm like, you know what? Let me try to see if I could change it up. So I looked on, I think, Open Table, or did I look at Open Table or Google? And I was like, no, I think I Googled oysters near me. And that came up, and that was good. So, and it was nice. I sat at the bar, and I always like to sit at the bar. I just think it's more social for me. And one of the bartenders, he was talking. He was being mad nosy to all of my business, but they are nosy. He was like, how you found this place? Did you just Google and say oysters nearby? I'm like, even if I did, mind your business. But I ain't say that. I was just like, no, I was just like, just looking around because he don't need to know my methods. But anywho, I was sitting at the bar and just chilling, and it was just a vibe. And when I was looking at the listing, I think on Google, it was like, yeah, they food is mad good. So next time I go, I really don't want to do that again. Like, just stick to one thing, because once I get stuck to something at a place, like I get stuck, I want to try something else. But that salad, ooh, I know it sound weird, y'all, like beets and pear and like feta cheese and arugula. I know it sounds, oh, and then it had pine nuts. Like, I'm just elaborating on it because I'm fasting. Yo, when you fasting, all you think about is food, yo. We are greedy as a humankind. I know, yo, we too greedy. All we think about is food, yo. When you fasting, you realize like how much of your brain is occupied about what you want to eat and what you got to taste for. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. It is. All right, but anyway, y'all, I've been talking for 15 minutes, and again, I don't know when y'all gonna see what vlog y'all gonna see this in, but I just needed to share that with y'all because I was just laying here. I'm about to write in my journal. I want to start journaling again. I don't know what it is, but I just cannot journal anymore. I don't be knowing what to fucking write. Like, I know I could write, like, oh, my day was like this. Oh, I got up this morning and I did this and I did that. But I just be feeling like, really? But anywho, I need to find a purpose of what I'm going to write in my journal, if you will. But going back to the guy that stood me up, the other joke is, so after that, I was thinking, like, maybe I would give him a chance to redeem himself, right? Because it's like, nowadays, it's like, not to say that you're lowering your standards, but it's like you want to give people some grace. You know what I'm saying? Usually, I would have just, like, vetoed him and just, like, whatever. But sometimes I feel like, let me just try, right? So the next day, he called me and he was like, hey, what you doing, whatever. I was like, oh, nothing, I'm chilling in the crib. So he was like, oh, what you doing today? And I was like, oh, I lied. I was like, oh, I'm going out with my friends for brunch. So I don't know why my spirit told me to say that, but that's when my spirit told me to say it was like, I'm busy. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, oh, okay, I was just calling to see what you was doing. So that was it. So, days go by. So yesterday he hit me up like, good morning. I'm like, good morning. No, mind you. Oh, he said, I'm going back to the story. Sorry. That same day that I told him I was going to brunch with my friends, he was like, oh, can you call me when you get when you get home from brunch? I was like, okay. So at first I started not to, but then I was like, I think I was a little bored. So I was like, let me call him. He don't pick up. So I'm like, all right, cool. So the next morning, he calls or texts or whatever. He always texts good morning or whatever. I'm like, all right, whatever, don't say nothing about it. So now Tuesday come, and he's like, oh, you forgot about me? And I'm like, what? And he was like, oh, you forgot about me? I'm like, no, mind you, that wasn't his first text, but now, mind you, I told you I called him Sunday night. He didn't respond, right? So now Monday night, I think, or Monday or whatever, Tuesday, whatever. No, Tuesday. He's like, oh, how you, regular shit, good morning. He's like, you forgot about me? I'm like, no, what are you talking about? He was like, oh, and I was like, nah. I'm like, what you talking about? I said, I called you. So he was like, oh, when you called me? I was like, I called you last night. He was like, oh, yeah, what time? So I tell him the time that I called on Sunday. So he was like, oh. He was like, well, I don't see no missed call from you, but okay. So I was just like, I ain't even respond to him. So then after that, I think he texted and was like, I don't remember what he said. I don't know. But I was just like, what? Like, so how you getting mad because I didn't, like, I don't know. Is it me, y'all? Please tell me in the comments if it's me. But I just feel like a lot of these guys are delusional. I really do. I think that they're delusional. Completely and utterly delusional. So what you expect me, like, what do you want me to be, like, what do you want me to call you for? You stood me up, nigga, basically. You know what I'm saying? Not basically, you did. I'm full-blown dressed. And like I said, if it wasn't for me changing the narrative and how I usually view things, I would be, like, devastated, I guess. I don't know. Like I told y'all before, like, when guys stand me up or they ghost me or they don't call me no more shit, I'll be like, yo, thank you, Lord, from sparing me from somebody that I do not need in my life at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know the type of person I am. I don't need to prove it to you. It's unfortunate for you that you didn't get a chance to experience the full experience of me. It's all good. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Y'all. But I just wanted to share that with y'all. I just thought it was just so, like, this dude was like, I mean, it's some other stories I gotta tell y'all too, but I don't know. I was saying I wanted to write a list of, like, because while I'm on my hiatus, I just want to write a list. I think I did put him on the list. So I'm going to just read y'all the list of what I've been experiencing, and then if you want me to elaborate, I'll give you like the name, well, not the name, but I'll tell you the scenario, and if you want me to elaborate on what actually took place, because I ain't gonna hold y'all, like, dating for me lately has just been nothing but like experimenting on just different scenarios, different situations, as long as it's not like toxic, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not dealing with no married man, I'm not dealing with nobody that's in a really, like, nothing like that, but just like dating men for different, like, you know, as long as they got my non-negotiables, and like different situations, just to see what works for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's all I care about. But let me start getting ready for bed, make my little diary entry, and I will see you. Gotta go over here. You finished?
Can the fish come there? Look, mommy's right here. Say cheese. Cheese. Yeah. You see the robot? Yeah. Okay. Robot? You want
look at robot right there.
Over here. Right in front of you. You see that? Robot.
You like it? You like the robot? Oh, nice.
Robot. Let Grandma get a picture.
You used to call me on my cell phone late night when you need my love. Call me on my cell phone late night when you need my love. I'm on the hotline, babe, and I could only be the one thing. I'm on the hotline, babe, and I could only be the one thing. 'Cause ever since I left the city, you got a reputation for yourself now. Everybody knows and I feel left out. Girl, you got me down, you got me stressed out. 'Cause ever since I left the city,
Yeah, in the casino.
Look, Ferris wheel. No, car.
He said, no.
Hop on, hop off. This must be Vegas.
Yeah, because the stratosphere,
Where?
right there.
Oh, yeah. This Vegas. I said it was Vegas because I saw the wedding chapel.
And that's the Bellagio with the water show.
Oh, yeah. Why do you have it on today?
Maybe it is coming on. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, this is the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I never even knew water go down it.
Oh, dude. At the Grand Canyon, they got a whole lot of them things there, them ride things.
Riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni.
Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Find the music and the step, and with the girls be handy.
Get this. Hotels and stuff. Indeed.
Find the music
In the step and watch the girls behind him.
There we saw 1,000 men as rich as Squire Dave.
That's Fifth Avenue.
Wow. Did they have a bus on Fifth Avenue? Did you see it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's the church. That's 50, or 5th off of Fifth Avenue and 50-something Street.
United Nations.
Center. Lincoln Center. Where's Lincoln Center? That one's the price.
With his words,
gotta be more passionate.
With his song. Come on, y'all. Y'all know it. Yo, it's Earth Gotti with the lyric camp.
Hey y'all, what's going down? So just wanted to just touch bases and just like catch y'all up on a few things. So I am gonna throw in like a little bit of clips of like what's been going on. Nothing spectacular though, but I will say I don't remember what the last thing I said, but anyway, I would say that life has been interesting, to say the least. But nothing crazy, nothing bad, nothing overly exciting. But me and Ja, well, I took Ja to the aquarium and I also took him to Legoland, so I'll include the clips of the Legoland journey, everything like that, as well as the aquarium visit, because I think I didn't put that in the last vlog. But I am picking up the camera again. I just been kind of like I told y'all before, I just wanted to take a little break just to kind of like have a moment to myself and just to kind of like just take a break. I think it's good to have, as a creative, I think it's just good to take a break sometimes. It's just sorry y'all, just kind of like refresh and just come back with a little more like oomph, I guess. So today is May 13th. Yesterday was Mother's Day. Oh yeah, so anyway, I'll tell you about my Mother's Day and everything. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just been working, of course, same old same, just trying to hold us down pretty much and just survive these New York streets, this single motherhood life. And just let y'all know that I'm dating, but I am, for the first time in my life, I'm actually dating more than one person. Typically, I usually just date one person and I get stuck on them. And I think that now has just been just the last couple of weeks of me dating. It's just been kind of like, not like I told you, not crazy insane, but just like giving me the opportunity to not just focus on one person all the time, and just seeing how that feels and what it looks like to have what they say a roster, right? So I have like a roster now, y'all, and it's just been, the good thing about my roster right now is, and what I'm trying to get to understand, I think I'm gonna make a separate video on like how to build a roster and how to kind of like navigate it. So the first thing that I noticed since building this new roster, I'm not going to tell y'all how many people I'm talking to because y'all gonna be like, what? But anyway, the first step to me and what I've seen and what I've been experiencing so far with the dating aspect and having a roster is just like, you gotta like all of them. Like, you know how some people be like, oh, you need to talk to some guys you don't like. No, you need to like all of them, because this is the only way it's gonna work. I think if you don't like them, then I think that, or some of them, like I just think that it's not going to be like, it's not fair, or not, it's like basically, so everybody's not going to be like leveled out, and so to speak, way. But I do have a roster, so let's just go down the line or the list of who, because the roster had it had a certain amount of individuals, and I just put a few of them in the boneyard. So the boneyard, y'all, is basically, I put them in my recently deleted. If you have an iPhone, right, if you put all, like, basically delete your conversation with them, and those messages stay in your recently deleted, you can always recover them. But when I'm kind of like over somebody, like, that's where they go in the recently deleted, which I call the boneyard. So I did move a few of them over to the boneyard. And then, so then now I have another ones that's not in the boneyard. So I have one person that I used to talk to, but I'm talking to them again. And then everybody else are new. I did go out on a date with 2 people. And then I was trying to think if I wanted to include this in the vlog, but I am. Like I said, I'm single. So I did meet somebody that I was like cuckoo for Cocoa Pops with, y'all. Like, seriously, like, I went out on like a date with somebody, and it was just like, it was like so simple, but like the most like fun, exciting kind of like date I've been on in a very long time. And I don't know if I told you before, but I don't really be liking guys. Like, it's like, so let me say, because it's like a difference. So like, I'll date somebody, I'll hang out with them, and I may like them, but like, it's not like what I consider to be like. And like, considering me liking somebody is like me picturing them being my boyfriend, which is very, very rare nowadays. Like, for me to date somebody and consider them, like, just think of them as like possibly being my boyfriend, like those are just so few and far in between. Because what I may deem necessary or what is for me to be in a relationship with, those men just I don't meet them that often. Like, I'll meet somebody and I'll like them and we'll date and we'll have a good time. I just don't see them as being my boyfriend. I'm not gonna go down the line of what that looks like, but I'll give you an example. Like, ever since the relationship I had with my baby father, like, I don't really meet too many men that I feel like, okay, I want him to be my boyfriend. And another thing that I'm gonna add to the whole roster thing and stuff like that is just that when you first meet somebody, like, they always on their best behavior. You know, you don't really know somebody until like 3 months in, and maybe even longer sometimes. But I kind of feel like, for me, my threshold for when guys start showing their true colors is like within the first 3 months. So that's why I never really like people, or I usually don't like somebody and then I start liking somebody. It's very seldom that I meet somebody and I like them immediately. So the last time before this most recent encounter happened that I actually liked somebody from like day one happened to me about 2 years ago. And that was like a shit show. Because most of the time I've even said this to myself, like, if I like somebody from like day one, it's like a red flag for me. So, brief story or brief analogy of what happened with the person that I like. I was liking him before we even went out on our first date. Like, he was just somebody that I felt like we kind of had a lot of similarities. Like, he had custody of his kid, he went to the gym, he worked out. So I've been looking for someone that is like, not physically, I'm not talking like the bodybuilding, but just has like a wellness routine, good job, fine, y'all, fine as fudge. But let me just tell y'all what happened on the date. So as I've been dating, of course, on the apps mostly, I've been kind of like changing some of my criterias, but it's not crazy stuff. I still have like my 3 non-negotiables, which is you need to have a job, or a career rather, not even a job, a career. You need to have your own spot, and you need to have a vehicle or whatever. I've been a little bit flexible in a vehicle situation because, you know, we live in New York, and certain areas you really honestly don't need a car. In fact, one of the people, this is aside from the person I'm about to tell you about, one of the people I've been talking about actually got their car stolen recently. So, not to say that that's a reason why somebody should have a car, but you get my drift. And if you're the type of person that doesn't have a car, you don't mind like meeting me halfway, or sometimes just making it out to me, or just making my life easier rather, then I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? So, damn, what was I saying? Because I always go off track. But anyway, he had my non-negotiables aside from the car. The other thing that I've been kind of being flexible about, which was never really a criteria for me, but is like height. Like, you know how some women like, oh, he gotta be 6 feet and stuff. I'm 5'6", y'all. So I usually feel like, I was feeling previously like, if I'm dating somebody, I would like them to at least be like 6 feet, because I wear shoes. And so I've been changing that. I'm like, all right, I could date somebody that's like my height or a little bit, or my height and taller. I don't want to be with somebody that's shorter than me. So this person I was dating was like, and I don't know, the original, when I first started talking to the person, I didn't, like I said, I'll probably look at your profile. If I see like 5'5", 5'4", then I'm like, okay, no. But I knew clearly he had to be like my height or a little taller. So anyway, before the date, I was just like excited to meet him, and super duper attracted to him. Now again, I'm telling y'all, I'm never really like a looks person, but in this person, my natural attraction is this, guys. It's what my best friend call it. She say I like tall, dark, and dumb, but it's usually like a very dark skinned person. I love dark skinned men. Like, it's just something that my genetics naturally is attracted to. He's none of that. Like, none of that. But to me, he was just fine as hell. I'm like, damn, like, well, on my way to the date, I'm like, damn, I'm like really stoked. Like, I'm excited, like, to go on this date with this person, right? So when we decided where we was gonna go, we ended up going to iPick movie theater in the city, where you could like order drinks and stuff. I kind of went against the grain of a lot of different things. And another thing I just want to say is, like, listening to all these like dating coaches on these social media platforms is going to keep y'all with no action. So you need to kind of like stop listening to some of the stuff that they put on it. Like, I ain't gonna say every little thing is bad, but stop listening to it. Go with your gut, go with your intuition, and just let that be a guide. That's why God gives you intuition. So anyway, I broke a lot of rules. Not broke a lot of rules, but like, all right. So anyway, let me finish saying about the date. So anyway, before the date, he was like, I was like, what are we gonna do? So he was like, can you send me 3 things? So you know, now all the dating coaches, it's like, oh, a guy needs to send you 3 things. I was like, I'm not listening to that anyway. All right, I sent him the 3 things to do. Of course, I knew which one he was gonna pick, the movies, right? So anyway, we go to the movies, and we get there like maybe like an hour before the movie, because, you know, this is our first date. The movie iPick theater in the city, like, they have a bar in there. So I was like, maybe we could sit at the bar and like talk. So that's what we did. We sat at the bar, we talked, and, you know, I could tell like he was a little nervous. I wasn't really nervous, honestly. I usually don't be nervous on dates. I like to have fun. Like, I'm always gonna be a vibe when I go out, like, always, because whether I'm with somebody or not, I'm gonna have a good time. We go to the bar, we have some drinks, we see the movie, and like the whole night, because like when I get with certain people and I feel like, yo, you acting mad uptight and stuff, I'm gonna be like, man, I'm be bothering you all night long, like just to get you to loosen up. So I was bothering him all night long, y'all, and just like bothering him, like playing with his beard and like, you know, just, you know, rubbing on his arm and like, you know, and I was like, ooh, these arms are kind of like fit, right? And so it was just so nice. And then we had like a really, really nice night. He kissed me. It was good. It was just like, ugh, like amazing. So after the date, that was kind of like it. So like after the day, I don't know, I just kind of felt like he was distancing himself a little bit, like just distancing himself well. So I was like, all right, cool. I had other things going on and stuff. But I don't know, I think I got in my feelings, y'all. I got in my feelings too much, and I don't know, like it's like this feeling came over me. I was like, damn, yo, I like this person. Like I like this person too much. Like I'm finding myself daydreaming about him, and I'm like, damn, like, and based on my experience, that has just never been a good thing. Like never been a good thing. So I must admit, and I'm being transparent, that I, like, as he was distancing himself, so I had decided, I was like, yo, I think I'm gonna like just fall back from him, like just fall back. So he had texted me one day, and I was just like, I was having like a really busy day, and I just didn't respond. So then I'm like, damn, after the fact, I'm like, damn, I didn't respond to him. And then he didn't say anything back. So I was just like, oh, maybe he don't care. So a couple of days went by, and like I was like, oh shoot, let me reach back out. So I was like, hey, you know, my bad, I didn't get back to you. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I told y'all before in another video, like sometimes I be self-sabotaging certain things or whatever. But again, I was just kind of thinking in a way like he wouldn't care. So I texted him, he didn't respond to me. So I'm like, oh shit, like is he mad or whatever? So I waited. Again, going through life, I be busy, so busy sometimes that I lose track of time. And then like a week went by, and then I reached back out again, and I was like, hey, you know, what's up? You mad at me? You know me, I'm playful. So I was like, you mad at me or something? Like, just hit me up, I miss you. So he hits me back, and he's like, yeah, I really miss you too. I was thinking about you the other day, you know, we had such a good date. And I was like, oh, okay, like da 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 da. And then we kind of started speaking again, but I just still didn't feel the way I felt, you know, the first date. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of felt like he kind of like distanced himself or whatever. So, make a long story short, y'all, that situation did not go anywhere. And I'm sad about it. I'm really sad about it, but not that sad. But I don't know, y'all. I just feel like whenever I like somebody from the beginning, like that's usually, for me, it's a red flag. Like I just feel like every time I like somebody like that, it just never goes the way it's supposed to go. It has, but it would take me to be like, I don't know, chasing it a little bit. And I just didn't feel like doing that. I'm really in my season of, I don't want to have to like convince someone that I'm worthy. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be both of us like running towards each other. And I just didn't feel that vibe from him. So that didn't work out. So, and it's crazy because like I'm dating other people, but I'm still thinking about this person. But whatever. That's that. So I did start talking to somebody I used to speak to before. And that kind of happened, like, not randomly, but like I told you before, I don't know if I said this before, but if I used to talk to somebody and we didn't like have like break up or stop speaking on any bad terms, which most of my situations don't really end on bad terms, and I feel like, oh, let me just reach out to somebody and just see how they doing. That's what I did. So we've been talking since, and he's been on me, y'all, like on my body, trying to see me, hang out with me and stuff like that. And when we started speaking again, I asked him, I'm like, yo, what happened? Like, what? Because he did kind of like the same, not the same exact thing. It was different with me and this person I started speaking to again, because we was like talking longer, way longer. We was talking for like 3 months. I'm like, what happened to you? And he was just like, oh, I was just stressed out and going through shit. And I just didn't want to like bring you down with me, and bring you down. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I was like, but why do you ain't just say something, like, or say something? You just disappeared, basically. And I don't want to say he disappeared. He didn't disappear. I just felt him with, pulling back, and I just let him, put it like that. So, he kind of was like, a little apologetic, not a lot, and took a little accountability, and then we started speaking again. But it's like we are just dating and we're just friends. And even before, we was just dating and just friends. So he's just there. And then, so that's that. And then I have a few others that I've been dating. And then also I'll mention one more, because there's more, but I'll just mention one more. Another guy, new guy, and we went out on a date, and it was cool. It was cool, except, how do I explain this? So, like, when I go out with men, mostly, so I gotta tell y'all, most of the time when I go out with men on dates, I usually go out on dates with men that are, I don't even want to call it generous, but I guess, and I'm saying generous in a sense of just like, let's just say we go out and we go out to eat, or we go out to whatever, and it's just like, you the type of guy to just be like, do you want another drink? Do you want, like, I'm used to that, you know what I'm saying? Do you want something else to eat? Like, they're like very, most of the time, like, I don't really come in contact with men that don't do that. So another guy I'm talking to, we did go out on a date. We went to Dave & Buster's. I just wanted to play some games, and like I said, I like to change things up. And it was almost feeling like I had to kind of like force him to like do stuff, buy me a drink or whatever. But not really, but yeah, in a way. And I don't like that. I like someone to kind of like not cater to me, but just be generous. And there's different ways to be generous, but I don't like to feel like I am forcing someone to like do something for me. So make a long story short, everything was paid for. Everything, I didn't have to pay for anything, but it's just the fact that like I don't like to have to persuade someone to pay for anything while we're on a date. You know what I'm saying? Like, that should be, we going on a date, you knew where we were going. It wasn't like this shocker when we got there, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but I have been dating a lot of guys my age, because those are the ones that have been hollering at me. I've been trying to, I told y'all before, I like to date older men, but the older men that I've been coming in contact with, either A, are not attractive, or they aren't asking me out on dates. So I don't know, but yeah, so I do have other people on my roster, but I'm not going to tell y'all all how many, but I do like them all equally, aside from the other guy that I mentioned about, we went out on a date and it was amazing. He's in a boneyard now, so I don't think he's coming out of the boneyard. And then I bet this other guy, he's already in the boneyard, didn't even make it to the first date. He was very arrogant and just wanted things his way, and to the point where I had to end up telling him one day, like, you make my pussy dry. Like, and though it's like, it sounds like it's random, I didn't just come out of my ass saying that to him, but it was just like, that's how arrogant he was to me. Like, the shit he was saying, I'll probably try to screenshot the conversation and leave it on the screen, because it was just that like arrogant. So I just wanted him to know, like, you're turning me off, and that's how much you're turning me off, because you're making my pussy dry. Like, but yeah, y'all, so I just been dating, but not really, like, not going out. I think I only went out on like those 2 or 3 dates or something like that. So I got some more lined up later on, so I just kind of wanted to catch y'all up. But that's what the dating life is looking like right now. My phone is popping right now. It is lit, but in a good way. And then I met some other people that, I don't know, y'all. It's better to have a Rasta. It is. And just have a Rasta and just keep rotating them, because what I've been experiencing lately is that like every week one of them kind of act up. So it's like, all right, so then I'll just keep talking to the other ones, and then and I'll just keep rotating them, and then until somebody says they want me to be their girlfriend. But I was just like analyzing all of them, and I don't even think none of them are gonna be my boyfriend. I just feel it. Like the last person that I would have thought to be my boyfriend, he was like actually going through a separation, and we were dating, and I was like, that's why I was like, I would never do that again. I think I was telling y'all about him, and it was just like we just had a lot in common, and he just wasn't doing a lot of the things that these men are doing, like simple shit. And I guess because he was married, so he knew how to treat a woman a little bit, like, you know, not really, but he just knew like stupid basic shit, like answer the phone, return my call, be where you say you gonna be, like simple shit like a lot of these men can't do. Or just be like thoughtful. Mother's Day came, he bought me like flowers and some wine. Like, it's like, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, pulling teeth for some of these men to do stuff for you. And I could see if like you did things for me and then I never said like thank you or whatever, or you see that I'm just like this money hungry. I don't know, I just don't understand. I would think if I was a man nowadays and I seen a girl that had her own shit, her own car, her own crib, and those would be the type of women I would do things for. But it seemed like men do the opposite. Like they do things for women that sleeping on the floor at their mama house with their 3 kids, and those are the women that they seem to do things for. But whatever, it is what it is. I just gotta keep hope alive that someone will appreciate me whenever the hell that time comes. So, but I just wanted to update y'all, let y'all know what's going on. I don't know if this is gonna be in like my return to YouTube vlog, or it's gonna be just like catching y'all up, but I just wanted y'all to know. So this is May 13th. I have a roster. Let's see who gets eliminated within the next couple of weeks. I'll update y'all. Peace.
That's the mama. The back. The baby behind. Actually, that's the mom. What's that right here? Oh, 4, 5, disconnect. Thank you. Mama, shower. I sleep. Yeah. Oh, turn up.
Come on this side. Come over here. You can see him better. Stop.
Hi, Harry. I'm looking at Mom, what's your eye? What's eye?
I don't know.
That is your eye. That's gold. And then, wiggle. Oh, go inside. I go.
Get your hands from there.
Oh, I go doo-doo.
Ooh.
Mom, go doo-doo.
Yes, yes.
Mom, look at his head.
Yeah.
What's it got his head?
Mm-hmm.
Mom, what's it got his head?
Look like I'm the man, yeah, but I was done up like last week. Tell me, where have you been?